heroes, because as of right now, D2 Hustlers, they're going to pop this Brewmaster ulti and they're going to pop the roll and then they run at you. And right now, NoPing can't do anything about that.
Yeah, they don't really have the means to just sort of stand and fight. They can't really trap the Pango up right now all that well either, so really the best you could do is maybe just try and hit him with the Bane, but that's not the target that you want. So instead, they go in with the Mars pick, which now presents some questions with regards to where the Tide and the Mars are going. We've seen both heroes get shifted out of core roles before, so they could look for that play, although if you do so, I feel like you're taking a lot of the traditional strength away from either one if you shift the Tide or the Mars out of that position 3 role, but NoPing feel like they need some way to deal with some of this aggression, and realistically speaking, the Mars, at least in a 5 role for Panda, is something we have seen from them before, so it's not without precedent for this lineup, it's just maybe a question mark of how effective it'll be.
And really, they could do that, but I also feel like in the back of my mind, this has to be Oscar Tidehunter, Panda Boo Bane, and then it's going to be a Dark Mago Mars mid, but it just doesn't feel nearly as nice. I feel like the one thing that throws a wrench into this plan, if they wanted Panda Boo to be that Tidehunter, is for Bane doesn't really exist. It just doesn't feel good. It feels like, even though on paper, honestly, it should be fine, it just doesn't feel like you ever want to stick him there because usually it plays pretty poorly versus every single 5 in the game. And of course, with this Mars, something is going to happen across the map, right? If you have it in the mid lane, it's going to happen a little bit sooner. It is a guarantee of action where you have a hero to rotate around, but you already picked up the Tidehunter. You're already doubling down on a lineup that doesn't have that good natural damage. So unless this Mars gets really out and ahead and even goes back for an item like maybe the Deso, because you need to get a BKB early, otherwise, instead of the Tide going up in the air, the Mars is going to go up into the air, and then your team fight is still going to lack damage. And this puts really all the pressure on Angel again to now be the damage in these fights, whether or not we see him go for a hero like, I don't know, the first one that comes to mind is like his Terrorblade, but you're playing versus Shadow Demon. All those illusion heroes are going to get turned against you. So it feels really awkward, the position that NoPing have put themselves in. They've really all in on their lanes here.
And honestly, I think the phrase to really key in on there that you said, the situation NoPing have put themselves in. This is not really a scenario in which D2 Hustlers forced you into this choice. They have sort of willingly put this kind of lineup together, so presumably that means that they do have some sort of plan for it, but we saw what happened in that previous game when they ended up being overly reliant on Angel to sort of be that end-all be-all of damage. He was able to dish out a lot on the Luna, but Luna alone wasn't really enough to turn it around, and now, as you said, you don't even have some of the same strength of those illusion carries to rely on with the Shadow Demon on the other side. So really, it just feels like NoPing, they've almost painted themselves into a corner here. I could see them pulling it off, but it just seems like this has become more difficult for them as the draft has gone on, as C2 Hustlers going to get their hands on the Sven to round out their own lineup.
And another classic Yuma hero combo player combination there. He played it when it was really not a good hero. So now that it is one of the best, I can only imagine he's going to slot in very nicely. Of course, Sven versus Tidehunter, the Stormhammer isn't really a guaranteed disable for him ever. And the only thing I am fearful of in the back of my mind is this Monkey King really going to give this Sven as hard of a time as we saw in that previous series, where this Tide is not an Undying? So I wonder if they will be able to nearly shut down Yuma as much as DNM was shut down. But then, this is a good pick. Angel getting on this PA. A lot of people are saying that PA is one of the best answers versus this Sven, especially if you can kite him out. Then you do end up being this very powerful hero that's able to clean up pretty much everyone on the D2 Hustler side. Everyone is set up in that similar position in the previous game where they aren't very naturally tanky. The tankiest one, of course, being that Sven and Brewmaster, but even Brewmaster is very, very susceptible to dying in his ultimate. It's one of the old counters coming from this PA. So do I believe in the rest of the lineup on NoPing? Sort of, but I definitely feel like every hero before this PA has been a little bit of a reach. They just need to come out of these lanes absolutely on fire. And then D2 Hustlers do have to be a little bit scared. But if NoPing come into this early game cold, I think Hustlers might be able to just reverse sweep them.
Yeah, it just feels, I don't know, a little bit risky. It feels like a lot of again, what we were saying about game 1 for NoPing. You are going to have substantial damage from Angel, but it'll depend, right, on the build that Dark Mako goes for. We're not going to pass judgment just yet. We're just getting started with this match, but they're going to have their work cut out for them here, but we'll see if they can do it. Because if they can, as you said, D2 Hustlers set up for a very impressive 2-0 sweep in their first series of this event, coming in with a new lineup and some maybe new ideas draft-wise. So we'll see what they can put together here. Game 2 officially underway.
All right.
Oh, so bubbly!
And what do we got from that Hustlers side? We did see a little bit of aggression from them in Game 1, sort of capitalizing on the predictability to a certain extent of Dark Mego. We talked about the fact that on his Lesh, really on a lot of his heroes, he loves to make that push across the river just for that sort of vision, just to try and scout things out, and the D2 Hustlers punished him for it last time. They're setting up in a similar scenario here, although actually they kind of jumped the gun a little bit. They are into the river before Dark Mego is, so they're not going to be able to pick him off, but they did get the ward down at least.
Yeah, and it's not the worst case scenario. Of course, you have much worse level 1 than you did actually in that previous game. I think NoPing are actually much more likely to be on the aggressive, but when you show 5 heroes mid, I don't think D2 Hustlers are necessarily going to give them an opportunity. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a scuffle on this bottom rune, but it's so dependent on whether or not some of these spells land and whether or not Oscar is able to prioritize the same target as the rest of his teammates. Because level 1, again, whenever you have a Tidehunter, you're allowed to get aggressive on the runes.
Hasn't skilled up the Gush just yet, actually, which is something he's trying to hold off on as long as he can, but there's going to be the push in from Hustlers. They will get the rune, and now Oscar, he may be in some trouble himself, put under by the disruption. They hit him up with that Storm Hammer. Do they really have the damage for this? Yaotomi was in there for the body blocks, but if he had gone any further forward, he would have been basically standing within tower range. So if he had have kept up the body blocks, maybe they get that kill on Oscar. But the risk, not really worth it. You put some damage on, you force Oscar out of the lane. I think that's going to be the more important aspect here. Oscar at this stage is spending more time out of the lane in this scenario than he would have if they'd have actually killed him off, I'm pretty sure. So that is going to make that bottom lane maybe a little bit more comfortable for Yuma across the first minute or two. But you see Matthew trying to step up here. Until the Tidehunter returns, he's going to just try and sort of solo this lane, but he does need to be careful with Yaotomi coming in. Yeah, they're going to try to hit him up. Stormhammer comes through. He's not going to go for the shield crash just yet. There we go. We'll throw it out later, but Matthew, he's really not all that concerned with this. He's just going to sort of walk it off. He came to lane with a stack of tangos, so everything will reset itself as Oscar does finally return.
Yeah, in this bottom lane, really shouldn't see too many sparks fly. Maybe once Oscar's level 3, same with Matthew. Once both of them are a little bit higher level, you have that pretty strong spike where it's the level 2 Jingu with the level 1 Boundless. But until then, it's just going to be right-clicking the Tide off cooldown, more or less. It's a pretty big pinata that they have to actually take down here. But okay, they hit level 2 earlier, but they're really going to work for this kill, huh?
6 seconds for the Stormhammer. Are they willing to keep it up for that long? I think they've got it. Oscar really just had nowhere left to go. So the persistence will pay off. That's going to be first blood going the way of D2 Hustlers. I really thought at a certain point they were just going to sort of back off, push Oscar out of the lane, and then just have Yuma go back to farming. But they recognized the opportunity for the kill, and that Monkey King, he did hit level 2 then, but I don't think Matthew had it for the fight itself, so the Boundless really wasn't a threat.
And unfortunately, during all of that, Matthew actually got a really good pull-off that would have enabled the Tidehunter to take the wave back just a little bit more, but instead, it actually forced the creep wave underneath the tower, and neither of them got XP for at least 2 or 3 creeps. And Yaotomi waits for the reset, is able to get a very clean suicide off, but now this is just more gas in the tank of Yuma, who really didn't miss a beat and got the first blood. So he is off to a really good start in this game.
Not a whole lot more you could ask for. He's around the top of that last hit chart. He got the first blood bonus. Yaotomi's going to be able to just TP back in with a bit more regen if he does get into any trouble. So ideal life for that carry so far. Meanwhile, up top, Devi and Monster going to try to put a little bit of pressure onto Panda here. Good Nightmare, though, to sort of break that up. And now Angel, he's actually going in. Devi Llama is in some serious trouble here. He's not going to be able to get away. Monster was put under for so long that he couldn't help out, and I'm not sure Monster's going to be able to get a return kill either. He doesn't have the mana or the cooldown for the Thunderclap, and Angel's actually sort of pressing in onto him. Does he have the damage? Well, he doesn't, but Panda sure does. Level 2 Brain Sap is going to nuke it down, and that's a pretty damn good response from the side of NoPing. 2 kills in the top lane. Of course, Angel not going to get the kill gold for either one, but that's exactly the kind of scenario you want playing out this early on. If D2 Hustlers are going to get aggressive, turn that aggression against them.
And that's where you need to be very cautious. This is the stick lane. Every single member in the top lane has a stick, but unfortunately, you step a little bit too far forward, you are very fragile on this Shadow Demon, and that's where the Bane definitely comes into full effect. 65 damage, level 2 Brain Sap, incredibly annoying. Yeah, bot lane, they were able to get a kill, though. It's just very simply the Gush and the level 2 Jingu, the exact point where, really, it doesn't matter that your shield crashed in a creep wave. The Monkey King is very annoying, and that's where I wonder how Yuma will take this aggression, because we saw DNM just run away. He had to get completely crushed in that situation, so maybe Yuma can play around a little bit more, but having to give stacks to the Monkey King constantly is definitely annoying.
And now you have Matthew using the Boundless to get the Jingu. So this Monkey King, he's playing so far forward right now, but for the most part, we do sort of see him getting away with it. Able to just sort of push in, get that harass down, hit him up with the Orb of Venom a couple of times, and every once in a while we saw it set up for a kill as Yudomi was taken down just a moment or two ago, but even in scenarios where you don't find that kill, you're burning through regen, you're making the Sven sort of take a step back, maybe get out of position. If he misses a last hit or two, then you have effectively sort of tilted this lane in your team's favor that little bit more. So Matthew's not going to stop. He's going to continue pushing forward until someone among this duo basically forces him to fall back, and right now, neither Yuma nor Yudomi are the ones who can really pull that off. Top lane. Devi, very low. Panda, though, can't really help out here either. He would want the Brain Sap, but he has to be careful. If he gets too close, he could take enough damage to be killed off as well. So neither of those supports are really going to go all in, but Devi continues to sort of throw out those shots from the backline, getting the poison down, but now Panda is going to make his move. Nightmare comes in. Not really sure if this is a kill that they can get, but you're at least trying to keep Monster away from this pull. And on that front, they will be successful. Now, Monster, HP is not looking fantastic. He's already used the sticks, and Angel knows it, so he's going to push his way in. 1 or 2 more hits, but the misses are coming through. Angel, got to be very careful. Dagger comes in. He needs 1 more hit, but now the tower shots may bring him down. Will he be able to survive? Yes, he will. Activates the blur, turns around. Devi's now the one who's going to get slowed up by that dagger, and Panda should be able to finish him off with 1 or 2 more right clicks, and NoPing once again able to make something happen there in a scenario where it looked like they were just dancing on the knife's edge, but 2 more kills going their way, and now Mr. Jeans, he's TP'd up here. Maybe he gets a return kill onto Panda, but no, he's not. Okay, now he's going to make the jump for it, but now Angel's here. He's going to hit him up with the dagger. That keeps him under the tower. He still gets the kill with the DOT, but now he's low enough for Angel to make a move. He needs 1 more dagger for the kill. And I think actually the creeps took it away, but that's still Mr. Jeans going down. 3 heroes dead in the top lane, and what you get out of it is a Bane. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's a really bad situation for them. Of course, Mr. Jeans did get all the credit for that, but here's Dark Mega with a haste rune, making his presence known, and I think Devi...
Yeah, he is not getting out of that one. He is going to be taken down. Dark Mago now looking for more. There's going to be the arena. The spear stun comes through. Monster just did not show enough respect to that. I mean, he saw Dark Mago's level, maybe just kind of betting that he wasn't going to deploy it there, but that's not a fantastic bet. We see the results as Dark Mage was able to make that play happen, and now down in the bottom lane, Yuma, he's getting bullied. Where is his teammate?
Oh, he's dead.
Yudomi is all the way at the tower. He went for some shenanigans with the creep pull, and okay, NoPing basically say, you can do that. That's fine. We're going to go after your carry, and that is the much better end of that trade-off. 10 kills on the board in 7 minutes for NoPing as they're really starting to get the pace going in their favor. Now Mr. Jeans, he's in some trouble. He's going to get put under by the Nightmare. Dark Mako doesn't have the mana to make this happen himself. Panda is desperately trying to get the kill, but Matthew is there to make it happen with the Boundless Strike. So Mr. Jeans falls. Yudomi, he's not... Oh, I was going to say not going to get away, but that spear misses. Matthew, that's a very aggressive jump. Once he realizes Yuma's there, he will back off, but kill onto the Bad Rider is so big, especially considering Dark Mago didn't go down initially. Now he might want to be a little bit careful. He's going to get put under by the Disruption. Can Panda save him? He's going for the Nightmare. Dark Mago gets the pushback with the Spear. Yudomi able to finish him off there with the Swashbuckle. So they do find that kill, but now here comes those 2 supports. Weird phrase to say, but that is the nature of it. Matthew and Panda can do a pretty substantial amount of damage as they took down 1. But Yuma and Devi are able to fall back in time, but this is just a series of fights, and we're not done yet. Top lane, Angel now in some trouble. They realize all the supports have rotated away. They're all mid, which means this PA is all by herself, and Mr. Jeans will get a little bit of revenge there. Respawns TP's top. He gets the kill and doesn't have to use the lasso for it.
We're now mid.
Are we still going? Yes, we are. Wow. Matthew and Panda in again. Devi will be taken down. I don't really think that there's much more they can do here, though. And Panda, yeah, he's just going to look for the TP, but they will finish him off. Now they want Matthew as well. Flame Break knocking him back. This fight will not end as the lasso comes through. And they do take Matthew down. While that was happening, though, up top, Dark Mago jumped in with the arena and finished off the Brewmaster. So I think we just doubled the kill count in like 2 minutes there, and now we might not be done. We are still going. Angel, I don't know if you want to be here. There's no lasso up on Mr. Jeans, though, so he knows there's not going to be any sort of immediate punish, but that was still a push into a 1v2, but he's able to at least keep the regen rune out of his opponent's hands.
Yeah, I think that's 8 kills in 2 minutes there, something absurd like that. And really, the only hero none able to really make any rotation there is just the Tide Hunter. The Tide just deciding that his place is somewhere else, and oh, that's an unfortunate disruption. Well,
didn't have too many options, I suppose, but that one's not going to get him away, as Devi Lamba will be taken down. And now, if you're Yanami, gotta be a little bit careful here. We see Oscar, or excuse me, not Oscar, Dark Mago sort of drifting, playing that free safety position, and he's gonna spot it out. Pushes in for the stun. Matthew has no boundless, but they don't even need it. Dark Mago comes in with a rebuke for the kill, and we are really seeing NoPing sort of turn on the gas here. 16 kills on the board for them, and this is maybe a little bit of a response to what went down in that first game. They sort of played it slowly and steadily up until the point where D2 Hustlers mounted their comeback. So now they're saying, we're not going to let you have a comeback, as Angel and Panda jump onto Monster up top. Good play with Panda hitting level 6. Fiend's Grip comes in. Now Mr. Jeans, wanted his revenge. The Nightmare locks him down. He didn't have the lasso anyway, but now
in the arena.
Now he's just got to run. Yeah, Dark Mago's coming in. Ooh, didn't. Okay, now he'll pop the arena. So order of operations a little bit out of whack there, but they still get the kill. So overall, it's really not going to matter all that much. Mr. Jeans goes down, and now Matthew, he's scouting Yuma. They're pinging him out. This is going to go very poorly for Yuma if he gets caught by multiple heroes. They're going to quickly turn around onto Matthew, trying to bring him down first, but there's going to be the Nightmare coming in. Dark Mago wants to get in position for the spear, but Nightmare's removed by Devi Lama. Good play there to try and get Yuma away, but he's still on the run. Can they lock him down? Dark Mago's actually still pushing this, but his teammates are sort of peeling away. This is getting a little bit more complicated. Oscar, though, coming in. Do they really want to fight into the Raptor? They're going to give it a go, as Monster will pop that split, and now they've thrown up the Tide Hunter. He's in the air. Dark Mago has no backup, and he will be finished off. Now they're free to focus on the Tide himself, and they should be able to find this kill. I don't even think the Ravage is going to be enough to save Oscar here, so he will hold it. He is not getting back onto his own side.
Yeah, and unfortunate, Oscar had to rotate out of his lane before finishing off one of his tanky items. If he has a hood, if he has a HOD, then maybe he's able to actually stand out in front of his allies, but they definitely threw away a little bit of their lead there. Matthew was doing a good job scouting out Yuma, but was actually taking a lot of damage from the cleave, and I think ending up needing to be saved by Pandaboo instead of able to dump absolutely everything. But they also make that play with full knowledge that they had already expended their arena in the top lane. But yeah, Angel.
Good lasso. They get down the Purge as well. Angel still able to jump away. Can actually save him, though. Angel is very, very low here, trying to fight inside the Wukong's command. Mr. Jeans does end up getting the kill, but he will be taken down almost immediately after. And now Dark Mago bringing up the rear, drops the arena into the spear stun, and Matthew cleans up 3 kills. The Nightmare actually prevents that last bit of damage. That's big plays from Panda. Fight may be over, but your job is not done. He's able to keep his teammate up and running, and that is really the best you could have hoped for, considering they lost Angel pretty much at the very start of that fight. They're able to extract a pretty heavy toll for their carry, and now you see in the middle lane, Oscar's trying to push his way forward, looking for this objective off the back of the fight. I don't think he has the damage by himself, and this is part of the downside maybe of not having that Helm of the Dominator. He doesn't have the creep to sort of help that push out, but still a big fight, one for NoPing, a big response. Angel was in trouble, and while they can't save him, they certainly do manage to avenge the PA.
And it was a little bit awkward that Oscar actually didn't show up to that fight. If they lost that fight, it would have been entirely his fault. But still, he wants to finish up a few more items. But mid, they've got the Purge.
They're going for it. Purge is down. Rolling Thunder's coming through. They need damage, though. This is really going to be the big kicker for them. If they don't have the damage, they can't do a whole lot. And there's the Fiend's Grip. Yonomi's going to get locked in place. A little bit too long sticking around in that fight. And he will be made to pay for it. So you like the aggression, you like the idea from D2 Hustlers, they just don't have the damage to finish off that play, and now they're in danger of getting jumped in on. Look at Matthew go. The man just knows no fear. He is jumping all over this Shadow Demon, trying to keep Divine Llama as far out of that fight as possible while Oscar pushes in. Ravage will be deployed. They've locked down Monster. They're going to be able to finish him off. No Primal Split out from him for now, but Mr. Jeans, he's thinking about it, but the lasso's not up for 10. I don't know if this is a great idea. He's just going to try to force him off the tower. And on that front, they will be successful. So it's a couple of kills going NoPing's way, but they don't get that objective just yet. That's going to be a bit of a silver lining for D2 Hustlers, but at a certain point, you got to start turning some of these fights around. 9-23 on that scoreboard.
And that's where they still can't break mid. It's this very similar situation in the previous NoPing lineup where you need the blink on the Mars and then finally you can get a kill into the building. But until then, you are going to be stuck playing this waiting game. But you have that secondary frontliner in the Tide this time around, so they can actually deal with it a little bit better this time. But Pandaboo, I think he might be playing the support tax here in just a few moments. They'd love to get Dark Mago, but I think it spoiled the play.
Yeah, I'm able to get away. I was going to say just in time, but realistically speaking, Dark Mago had a pretty wide window to avoid that one. So D2 Hustlers can't make the play happen. They should get their hands on a DD rune, though, so that's a nice little play for Yuma. But Yuma already used the God Strength, so if they're not fighting, he needs to get really right back into the jungle as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you are using a lot of this efficiency as Dark Mago. He just jumped straight in. Yuma almost kind of does a double take there, throws up the stun after the fact, but I don't think either side were really anticipating that. But now Monster, this is a bold move. He's going to push his way forward. He's pushing directly, though, into the Wukong, so this could get a little bit ugly, but here comes Yudomi in with the Rolling Thunder, trying to sort of become that secondary lockdown, but at this point, the primary lockdown is getting pushed back. Monster lost his other spirits, and he's just on the run. It looks like he's going to be able to... Nope, not able to get away. Bound the Strike locks him down. Thought he could get across the river, but Panda's able to hit him up with the Fiend's Grip into the arena trap, and Monster should be taken down there. So feels like maybe the wires were a little bit crossed if you're D2 Hustlers. Not quite all on the same page. They send in two as Monster and Yudomi do push their way in, but the rest of the damage didn't make it across the river, and they had no choice really but to cut their losses.
Yeah, and ideally you find a fight where Yuma's able to show up a little bit later and then follow up after the Ravage is already committed, but instead you just force a little bit too hard. I don't think Yudomi had the role there either. You weren't able to find a target immediately with Mr. Jeans after that smoke broke apart. You just need to bide your time a little bit here, but they just need to defend this mid tower. Yeah, mid.
They're going to hit him up. TP coming in, no. Monster is here, but without the Primal Split, he's not as much of a threat as he would like to be, but they're still trying to push Oscar away. They are going to be successful, but they can't really kill Oscar. This is just going to be getting him out, or maybe they can. Yudomi pushes in. Divide. Okay. Hits him up with that delayed damage. That will be enough to get the kill as Oscar does fall, and the defense of this sort of tier 1 tower mid continues as Hustlers, maybe the last couple of fights haven't really gone their way, but they just refuse to give up that objective. Now they're the ones grouped up mid, and we gotta wonder, will NoPing mount a response? Panda and Matthew have sort of made their way over. You see Dark Mago waiting in the wings. He's doing so on very little sort of HP and mana, but he does have a full wand, so maybe you could bait somebody in, but it doesn't really look like D2 Hustlers are going to take that bait. And while all this is happening, you do have the Sven just sort of farming away, going to work in the jungle. The PA on the other side is pretty much doing the exact same thing, so really both sides kind of feels like they're okay-ish with this standoff situation.
Yeah, it does feel like it does favor NoPing a little bit more. Of course, they have the advantage in that direct core matchup. Sven needs to look towards items like the Silver Edge, the MKB, before he can feel confident. Monster.
They spotted him. They'll stun him up. There's going to be the spear into the arena, keeping him locked down. Can they finish him before the Primal Split, though? Not quite yet. Divide. Defensive Disruption comes through. Monster's going to go for it. He got off the split. They threw a stun in from the Stormhammer as well. And now Yudomi, he's going to roll his way forward, but there's that Fiend's Grip locking him down. Panda says, no, sir. And they will be able to take that Pango down. Maybe not, actually. It gets canceled. They aren't able to finish it. Yudomi does eventually fall, but at that point, a lot of resources have been committed, but now the Ravage is in. They're going for round 2. Angel jumps directly onto Divide, taking out that defensive potential, as they will take him down. Monster now falls as well. Yuma is basically fighting alone because Mr. Jeans, he backed off. Used the last few seconds of his Firefly to make a run for it, but Yudomi apparently didn't get the memo that they were backing away. He bought back and rejoined the fight, only to die a second time. Angel picks up the double. It's going to be 5 kills in total for NoPing, and, well, it felt like they were sort of surviving in that first round, but then NoPing go back in. Oscar drops the Ravage onto 3, and they really were not prepared for that sort of secondary initiation.
And Oscar was just able to walk it in. He doesn't have his blink there. He's going to have it in a few moments here, but you cannot allow Oscar to have such a seamless initiation there on the Sven after the fact because you don't have BKB. You don't have anything working towards your BKB right now. Of course, you can always disassemble the Echo Saber, get a little bit faster, but yeah, Mr. Jeans, okay.
Matthew will play the part of the bait. Dark Mago, though, wants in. No Arena up for a few more seconds, but he does get the pushback from the Spear that allows Angel to get in there as well with the dagger into the jump, and I mean, Matthew, I said he was sort of playing the part of the bait. That is still true, but most of the time, the bait dies. Matthew lives. He just doesn't really care. He's got half HP still, and now his teammate is setting up onto Divine Llama. They've hit him up with the Nightmare, and well, Monster just kind of has to leave his teammate to die. There's really no alternative there without the ult.
And it's ridiculous that this spell is okay. The leap coming in from the monkey, he's able to tree dance before anything gets it ticked off of him. He just feels so annoying. He's absolutely everywhere as well. And with the tree dance AoE vision, he's always able to scout out for these heroes.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Ping's coming out from both sides, though, so everyone knows what's up. As Matthew is going to get punished for this one. Tried for the Wukongs, but alright. Big play from Hustlers there. It doesn't seem like it just from the kill itself, but if you don't kill Matthew there, you leave him in really an exceptional position to set up the rest of his team for a fight. So you really just couldn't allow that. Could not let him sit there in that tree line. You have to take him down or force him away. And they're able to do so. And now, well, now both sides maybe casting their gaze over towards the Roche pit. We are sort of approaching that time, 20 minutes in. Both sides are at least capable of it. Maybe one of the teams is a little faster than the other, but could become a big objective over the next few minutes here. Nobody's going to go for it just yet, but can't imagine we're just going to see Roche left alone for extended amounts of time as NoPing. They're pushing their way, yeah, down bot. Angel just does it alone. That really should not happen. The Bat Rider can't afford to get caught out by himself like that, but now without the Bat, what do you do if you're D2 Hustlers? You kind of have to wait a little while. That's a lot of your initiation, and honestly, at this point, if Yuma's not involved, a lot of your damage output as well. So they're just going to have to sit back and wait it out. But you mentioned earlier when we were sort of talking about a stalemate, the fact that it was benefiting NoPing that little bit more, and we can really see that exemplified here. About a 2k net worth difference between Yuma and Angel. So I mean, this PA is really going to start hitting hard, already hitting hard with that Deso built up. So D2 Hustlers are going to have to be so incredibly careful now moving forward. They can't really go toe-to-toe in a carry fight with the Sven and the PA.
And Yuma, he's got it. He did disassemble his Echo Saber, but you have Tidehunter. You're able to do this Roche so incredibly quickly, and look at how scared everyone is. I was going to point it out before, but Yuma is sitting in the trees instead of hitting his triangle. Meanwhile, Angel is able to hit his triangle with utter confidence, and now an Aegis in his hands. It just feels like this PA can play that peekaboo style and is just going to start running through these fights. If this BKB timing doesn't work for the Batrider and the Sven, the game is going to end pretty soon here.
Hustlers were kind of stuck in no man's land a little bit there as well. 3 heroes in the top lane who didn't push forward and also didn't fall back in time. A couple of heroes were able to TP out though, so Yodomi's the only one who actually dies, but that just feels a little bit awkward. They see that Roshan gets taken and they're not able to back out in time. NoPing will take the kill and now the tower. So map control is becoming more and more of a factor here. They're up by 10k. They've got Roshan, or they've got the Aegis in their hands rather. They're stealing this west side jungle. There's just so much going for them right now that D2 Hustlers really don't seem like they have an immediate answer for.
No, and now BKB on Dark Mago as well. He's going to look for some more. I can only imagine some more strength items, whether that'll just be him rushing an overwhelming blink or going back for an AC. But once he has those items, Dark Mago?
Oh no. Dark Mago just complete. How does no one have dust there? The Dark Mago just going to break that play up. I think Panda is still getting caught, so they'll find someone, but that's a 5-man smoke. You get a BKB charge, you get the arena used, so it's something, right? They don't come away completely empty-handed. It's just, I think they were really anticipating getting more out of that entire encounter, and it really just doesn't play out that way. But Yuma and Mr. Jeans are trying to push the tier 1 tower mid. There's no glyph right now, so they will be able to take it down, but Oscar Does he go in? Yes, he does, blinking his way forward. He's going to look for the Ravage, or... Well, didn't actually have it. He had used it previously, so he was just looking to force the BKBs. He does manage to do so, but at this point, his team is still pushing forward. Angel does get thrown up in the air, so they're lacking a little bit of this damage, but it's only Monster and Mr. Jeans who are actually taking the fight. They're going to quickly fall back. Angel, with that second life, okay, just going to charge his way forward. Devi Lama taken down. Mr. Jeans dropping low, desperately trying to get away, not going to be able to as Oscar finds the kill. Yodomi, oh my god, that crit! Takes out about 80% of the HP in one go as Yodomi will fall, and now Monster, with the Primal Split wearing off, there's not much for him to do either, as he'll be taken down. Angel gets the triple, and, well, Aegis is still up, so really kind of hard to say there's much of a silver lining there for D2 Hustlers. They just get wiped out in that fight.
I really don't think that they can take a fight until they have this silver edge on Yuma. There's just no entrance for him at all. You need to feel like your Sven is actually able to hit anyone, and the item is either Shadow Blade or it's Blink Dagger, but without him making a decision, and the decision in his quick buy at least right now is that Silver's Edge, it's 5,000 net worth away. It's going to be such a long time, and he has not been able to hit any creeps. He is 30 CS behind Angel right now. Angel has a full Aghanim Scepter as well, so this is where this hero really starts to feel crazy. I wonder what we're going to see from Angel once he gets this level 20. If he gets the Blur Evasion, it's just an even bigger problem for Yuma to deal with. It just feels like this Sven is not doing damage right now. There's no real target for him to stick onto. And yeah, Dark Mago, he's going for that AC.
Ooh, Mr. Jeans.
I really feel like it's a bad thing. Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Jeans popped. They are going to try and force the fight, though. If they can get through the Aegis right now, that could set them up. Yodomi is keeping the rest of the sort of heroes occupied on the back line, so they do get through that Aegis. The problem is Devi had to sacrifice himself for it, so he will go down, buying back immediately, though, looking to rejoin his teammates. Mr. Jeans, meanwhile, pops the BKB, trying to get in there with the Firefly, doing as much damage as he can, but they're fighting into the Wukong's command, but the Ravage now comes through. Mr. Jeans gets taken down, Yuma falling as well. Monster comes out of his ult, and at this point, there's really not much left to fight with. Angel's just cleaning up the back line, while the front line is Monster just as desperately trying to run in circles. As Dark Mago will finish him off. Triple kill for him. Angel's able to pick up 2 or 3 there as well, and buyback's pretty much non-existent at this point. So D2 Hustlers, they're going to lose a lot.
They're chasing out Matthew with their couriers. It's a good idea, but yeah, I think they know that their numbers up here, more or less. It was just a little bit too good of a Ravage coming from Oscar, clipping both of their BKB targets after the BKBs had already worn off. I can't believe that actually landed on the Batrider, because it really was geared more towards just stunning up this Sven after the fact, but still, you can't get away with just killing the Bane at the end of the day. Everyone had too good of a game on the NoPing side. 23k now with that 25-minute. It's just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. The only saving grace for D2 Hustlers was the fact that they have tier 2s up in those side lanes, so NoPing didn't want to push the tier 4s and couldn't go after the other lanes of Rax, but the situation has not changed. It's just that things got delayed a little bit, and this does not feel like Game 1, where NoPing maybe dragged or drugged their feet a little bit too long and left the door open for their opponents. This lead feels so much more difficult for D2 Hustlers to really overcome, as you see Matthew even showing off BKB for the position for Monkey King. Yodomi really can't keep him locked down, so as of right now, there's really not a whole lot that they have to worry about. If Yuma's given another 10-15 minutes of farm, maybe we can circle back on that conversation, but he's really not finding much right now. You even see him just having to TP out of the top lane because Panda is sort of tracking him down. So the openings for this Sven really not overly abundant at the moment.
The one saving grace right now for their lineup, and actually, I think they're trying to get some kills here on Matthew, but, well...
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the problem. Oh, my god. Okay. Jumps in onto Yodomi, just blows him up with the crit. Both heroes dead. There is a buyback, though, on the bat, so if they do need him back in, he can rejoin it, but at this point, 30 seconds away, and your top lane is safe because of the tier 2. I don't really think they're going to be hard-pressed. They're really looking to commit that buyback, but as I say that, Devi Lama gets jumped in on, so NoPing really just feeling themselves right now. They've got a PA who's sitting at 15-2, so Angel says, why not? Jump in, get the kill, got the Aghanim Scepter just to sort of refresh everything, and there's not a lot of counterplay for D2 Hustlers. Their tier 4 towers are now under attack, so realistically speaking, they're going to have one more shot at this. If they can't take this fight really right now, that could be the end for them, but Matthew just kind of wanders his way in. That was a weird one, but His teammates are trying to back him up. Yadami comes in with the Rolling Thunder, but once again, Panda hits him with that Fiend's Grip. They are able to cancel it out, so Yudomi's still fighting, but this is a really broken up fight for D2 Hustlers. This feels like they're throwing absolutely everything they have into it, sort of ad hoc, and they're really not taking anyone down. Oscar is so damn tanky, he's just going to walk away, and NoPing will just pull everybody back.
Ooh. Still has Ravage. He can't get bursted here.
Oscar's looking for it. Angel's jumping in. Yadami will be taken down. No buyback available. Now moving in onto Mr. Jeans. They crit him down as well. Double kill. Mr. Jeans, though, did have a buyback, so he's back in. But Angel just doesn't care. Look at him go. He's got the Ultra. Can they get him the Rampage? Yes, they can. Mr. Jeans dies again. Rampage for Angel as he closes out the game in style, and that is it. GG called, and NoPing. I think they might have been a little bit pissed off about letting Game 1 get away from them. They take Game 2 pretty, definitively.
Yeah, and it did feel like this was NoPing. You know, sometimes they do throw away their games, and we even saw in the previous game they really were sitting at 100% win probability, technically speaking. So Dota thought they had won as well. Just some good team fighting that really brought the game back for D2 Hustlers. But I think this time around, NoPing drafted to win their lanes, and they more or less won every single lane. I think Mr. Jeans was a little bit too passive in the 1 or 2 rotations he did end up making towards that PA's lanes. Just didn't work out. I think he went to the lane that had already lost. He's really just rotated a little bit too late, and then you end up feeding the person who's already off to a fantastic start. It just compounds the problem, and really, whenever the lanes broke apart in the way that they did, Yuma just can't farm anywhere. We saw most of this game getting played in his own triangle. Meanwhile, you look at the other side, and Angel has a free time farming in his own triangle. There's never any aggressive move. We saw D2 Hustlers smoke, I think, once, and that whiffed. They will end up maybe getting one hero, and then they weren't even able to claim the mid-tier 1 tower, I think, at the end of the day. It was just, I think, a little bit too big of a mountain for them to climb, and this is the mountain that we know NoPing to be.
So, well, as we said at the end of it, I think they were a little disappointed in themselves. They knew Game 1 was sort of in their hands, and they let it sort of slip away. So this time, no such issues whatsoever. 52 kills for them in, what was it, 28 and a half minutes? So they pushed, they farmed, they killed, they did everything that they needed to do to an extent where D2 Hustlers really just didn't have many options. I mean, Yuma had to be the guy, but by the time he is even thinking about being ready for a fight, it is already well too late for him to have the kind of impact that D2 Hustlers would have needed. So, very well played by NoPing. They salvaged the 1-1 draw in this series, and it is the lone series that they're going to be playing today. NoPing will now be sort of stepping back and watching the rest of the proceedings. D2 Hustlers, though, not the case. They have one more series coming up. They're going to be playing against Black and Yellow in our next best of 2. So they took Game 1, couldn't get Game 2. Now they have a chance, though, to take this 1-1 draw and try to salvage momentum, move forward, get a few more points on the board, maybe at Black and Yellow's expense. Actually, not sure if I have an ETA on that one just yet. I was going to sort of mention that, but I don't think we know yet. But it will be D2 Hustlers versus Black and Yellow. We're going to give them a little bit of a break just so that they're not jumping immediately into that next series, which gives us a little bit of a window here, some time to thank our sponsor for this event. Shout out and thank you to our sponsor, N1Bet. You can deposit with digital wallets and crypto to bet on Pro Series 8 matches with N1Bet. You can go to bts.gg/N1Bet. That's all one word, no spaces, no underscores. Use code BTSDOTA. That will get you an exclusive bonus at N1Bet. And best part, if you use that code, you don't even have to actually make a wager to get that bonus. So N1Bet providing us with a code there for BTS users. Get in there. If you want to make a bet, you're free to. You don't have to get that bonus. So thank you very much to N1Bet. Appreciate you sponsoring the event. And feel free to go use that code if you would like to. As always, though, please do remember to gamble and bet responsibly. Don't bet the house, don't bet the car, don't bet the dog. Just keep it in scope, you know? Don't go too crazy. But with that, we are going to be hopping on out of here. D2 Hustlers versus Black and Yellow coming up in just a little bit. So sit tight. and we'll be bringing you that third series in just a little bit.